Hello YouTube, welcome back. Today I would like to talk to you about Defiance. This is a PvE sort of review, or I will tell you what I like and don't like about this game. Well, it's a third-person shooter with RPG elements in an MMO environment. So it's an MMO where you shoot things. And it also ties into the sci-fi original TV series by the same name. And this sort of cross-media phenomenon is a quite interesting concept, because the game is sort of updated alongside the stuff that happens in the TV show, and it's really nice. I haven't seen or heard anything like this before. Now, Defiance is set in a post-apocalyptic version of the San Francisco Bay Area. So stuff is destroyed, it looks all weird, and the story is about a possible way of terraforming the Earth back to its former self, blah blah blah, etc., etc. Things are not what they seem, and the story is quite interesting and sort of keeps things going. But you know, it's all about the game, right? Now, first you create a character like in any MMO, and this part of the game is somewhat disappointing, because for a universe that should be full of different alien species, as far as I can tell from the TV show at least, in this game you can only choose one of two races. Either you play as a human or as an Erethian. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but it's an alien with a, looks like a human with a different head model. That's really it. So there's a real lack of imagination here. However, you can get more races, but you need to buy expansion packs for that. I guess that's how the developers make their money. Anyway, Defiance is aesthetically pleasing to the eye. It really looks quite good, especially the environments. It looks very impressive, and it looks varied, and it's all seamless, apart from some loading times to get inside certain buildings. And right from the start you get a vehicle and you can sort of drive around the world, and it's really big, and there's lots of stuff you can do in this world. The only thing that on close inspection the characters don't really look so good, but this game is from a couple of years ago, and I guess some compromises had to be made there. Now, what about the gameplay? Now, the first thing I don't like about MMOs is that they're very stale, right? NPCs are just standing around waiting for you to interact with them. You get a quest, you go, you come back, you get a reward. Now, that's still here in this game, but there's a lot of stuff going on in this world. I mean, other players are running around, driving around, doing missions. There are random events, like these big giant things that drop from the sky. You need to fight over them. There's loot. I mean, it's just, it's hectic. There's stuff going on in this world, so I really didn't get bored. What I really like about this game, that you can actually play this as a single-player game in an MMO world. So if you don't want to hassle with all the other players, want to talk to them and group and all that shit, you can just take on missions, and people might help you. They just jump into your, basically your mission, they'll help you out, or you can help them out in certain events that are taking place. Now, what about the shooting? Is it any good? I think so. The shooting feels good, it feels beefy, it plays well, it controls well. It has systems that are very similar to Borderlands. You know, there's the skill tree that you can upgrade. You can upgrade abilities. There are special powers like cloaking, for instance. There's a loot system where you'll be rewarded with different guns or different parts of guns, better guns, guns that do all kinds of different kinds of damage. It's really wacky melee weapons. So there is really an incentive in this game to keep going and keep playing. I only wish that there was a cover system in this game. Now, you can take cover behind stuff, but it doesn't have a sort of cover button where you just sort of, you know, go into an outer cover and then shoot like in other games. So I expected that to be there. It's just not here. Anyway, what about the aliens? Well, there's a good, not the aliens, no, enemies. There are a good amount of enemies, and they are interesting to look at. So, but they're not really that interesting, or they're not that difficult. The AI is not really that good. They sort of run at you in packs and then they try to shoot you, so they have strength in numbers. But you know, they drop loot, and you know, there's always a sense of progression that is going on. Now, the last thing I don't really like about MMOs is that sort of enemies respawn too quickly. So you've sort of cleared a certain area or a certain building, and on going back, or if you try backtrack, then you'll see that the enemies have returned and all that. Uh, that is here, of course. You know, the world. You won't have a lasting influence on the world or anything like that. You know, it's an MMO, right? But it doesn't feel like the enemies are back immediately. So and they're sort of reinforcements are dropped from the sky, so it doesn't feel like they're sort of magically back. It feels like reinforcements are there, and other players will then start their own quests and stuff. So yeah, so I'm sort of rambling, I guess, about this game, but it's in essence it's a good MMO. It's one of those MMOs that sets itself apart from the pack. It's not a fantasy MMO. It's shooting. It's instant shooting. It is good action. There's a lot of flashy things going on, even to the point where you can. There's so many flashes and colors on the screen that you sort of your vision or your view is obscured by it. So that's sort of also that's sometimes difficult watching this game, but it's good. It feels good. The shooting is good. I like it. You know, it's a good MMO. If you're into MMOs, but you don't like the fantasy stuff, or you're not into MMOs but you want to try them and you like shooting, well, this is an MMO to try. So yeah, I think definitely a thumbs up for this game. Hope you like my sort of assessment of this game, or review, whatever you call it, or opinion. Let me know what you think. Leave comments and subscribe. I appreciate that. See you in the next video.